JD, hope all is well, love and light. I was I did a live just a couple of minutes ago until one of my viewers hit me up. I'm just talking, I'm talking, not realizing that I didn't have any sound. I ain't have any sound, guys. So my apologies for those of you guys who was watching me and wasn't hearing what I was saying. So I'm gonna give a few minutes for you guys to jump on in this live, and then, I'll get to talking. We're talking about building homes in Dominican Republic and how I got started, and what I needed to do to continue on. Okay, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe for those of you guys that are just tuning in. And I'll give a few more minutes before I start going into how I got started, what I've been, how I managed over the 3 years, and how I'm continuing to manage. And this, I'm hoping that after I'm done with this live, you guys leave with a little confidence and a little, a boost of encouragement to do what it is that you need to do in order to make it happen for yourselves. Not all of us have a lot of money. I'm a middle class brother. Yeah, I make 6 figures a year, but that ain't shit in New York. Joseph, what's going on, bro? What's going on? For those of you guys that's just tuning in, make sure y'all hit the like, share, and subscribe. So initially, when I started building my home, as I said, and I'm sure a few of you guys have already heard my story. This is for the newcomers, those of you who just started following JD the Traveler's YouTube channel. I'd like to explain to you guys how I got started and how I'm continuing on. Okay, so I started my project back in March of 2022. Okay, now initially when I started, I only had about $25,000. Just gives you that. I'm hoping that you guys listen on in. I only had $25,000, to start this, my project. Now, I had already acquired the land. I had the land since 2018, okay? And I bought my land relatively, it was pennies on the dollar. I spent $1,200 for 300 square meters, at the time. Things have changed since then, of course. And then, it took me, up until 2022 to finally break ground and get started. Now, when I got started, Nixon 7, Stephen Kelly, what's going on? Yeah, so when I got started, guys, I only had $25,000 in my pocket. I managed to get the foundation done with that, and I managed to get the wall done with that, okay? Now, I already knew that I was going to run out of money, you know what I mean? And I was transparent with a lot of you guys at the beginning, and a lot of you guys was like, oh, how are you managing to build a house and you only got 25,000? I already had pretty much a plan set for me, you know what I mean? So once I ran out of money, okay, at that time, my credit wasn't so great, so living in New York, a lot of us, I'm talking about now, if you guys are from the islands, you guys can relate to what I'm talking about. Whether you from Jamaica, Trinidad, Tobago, even the Philippines, because the Filipinos do it as well. Hey, JD, caught another live. What's going on, RA? Yeah, so if you're from the Caribbean, you pretty much know exactly what I'm talking about. So once I ran out of money, I said, you know what? I'm going to start my own susu. Some of you guys call it susu. Some of you guys call it partner. Okay, so I managed to start my own susu. Now, when I started out, I had about 15 people, and basically how susu works, we're talking about interest-free money. Of course, this is your own money. Now, I am the banker. I'm the banker. I have my own susu going on, and I've been doing this for the past 3 years, going on 4 years, and this is how I got this far. All right. So I started my own susu, and basically what it is I had about 15 people in, and every 2 weeks, each person is paying out $200 a month. I mean, every 2 weeks. So that's what the payout is. Everybody's responsible for paying $200 every 2 weeks. Okay. And you get, okay, so let's say you got 15, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. All right, so if you got 15 people in and everybody's paying $200 every 2 weeks, So every 2 weeks, one person gets $3,000. All right. So for me, I was taking out of the 15 people, I would take like three hands. So when it's all said and done, that's $9,000 that I'm getting. You know what I mean? And me being the banker, I'm making sure that I'm getting my first three hands. So the first three hands, I got my $9,000, okay? And most times my susus run, I try not to let my susus run no more than 7 to 8 months. You know what I mean? So this is pretty much how I've been managing. Floor Lumbers, what's going on? For those of you guys that's just joining in, be sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe. So yeah, this is pretty much that I have been managing. So I try to manage to do about two susus every year. I try to do two of them within a year. So yeah, so I would do about three hands. The most I've done at a time, I'm not gonna lie to you, I've done four susus at one time. And don't get me wrong, it takes a lot of disciplining and sacrificing in order to make it happen. But if this is something that you really want to do, you got to sacrifice, guys. You got to sacrifice, and this is what I'm calling sacrificing. So I managed to get this far. I started off with the foundation. I started off with the wall, and then once I got the wall and the foundation on, I'm done. Then I did the roof. And then once I did the roof, I did the pañete. Some people call it, in Spanish, they call it pañete. In the Caribbean, they call it plastering. Started plastering the bricks to smoothen it out. So I've been doing these susus for the past 3 years. I just started another one. What month are we in? I just started one this month. Okay, now this one I have 21 people in, right? I have 21 people in, and out of the 21, I took two hands. So each payout is $4,000. Okay, it's $4,000. So let's just do the math here. I got 21 people, and I got to pay out $4,000 every 2 weeks to one person. Every 2 weeks. So basically, once a month, I'm paying out $8,000 once a month. Okay. And I'm the banker. I'm the one that holds on to the money. I'm responsible making sure that everybody gets paid out every 2 weeks. Right. So when you do the math, and this susu runs, it started this month, it ends the second week of February. So I think it lasts about 7 to 8 months. So when you tally all of that up, I'm once it's all said and done, guys, I done paid out $88,000 and 88,200 USD. I done paid out within 8 months. Okay. So with that being said, I said to myself, okay, you know what? I want to be able to, once this one is over, I have about three people that's in so far. That's like, you know what, Jay, I'm down. And this might help you guys, for those of you who are looking to buy land or even start your project for that matter. Okay. I'm trying to minimize it to whereas I only got 10 people, and what I'm going to do is, every 2 weeks, each individual has to pay out $800. Now, if I can get 10 people to pay out $800 every 2 weeks, okay, that's pretty much $80,000. That's $80,000, right? So this time around, okay, because I have some land that I want to buy. I have, another big piece of property that I want to buy. So what I plan to do is, I got three people that are down. And what I plan to do with that money, right? Instead of paying out everybody, what I plan to do is, okay, every 2 weeks we're paying the owner pretty much. I said 800. So yeah, every 2 weeks we're paying an owner $8,000. You know what I mean? And then once the 10 months is up, we got our land. We got our land. So this is a way of being able to buy land, starting your project, interest-free, not worrying about having to pay a bank back. The only thing that I would suggest for anybody that's looking to do it is making sure that you have somebody that's responsible. I'm responsible. I don't play with people's money. I don't, so I hold the bag. I'm responsible for holding the bag. And some people say, well, what benefit do you get out of it? I make sure I get the first couple of hands. That's the benefit, so that I can do what I have to do. You know what I mean? And me being the bank holder, I'm always getting the first hands so that I can do what I have to do. You know, if that makes sense. I'm gonna read some of y'all comments. Hold on. Future World Films, bro. We was we was just talking about you. Me and Lane. Me and Lane was just talking about you, bro. Guess who stepped in the boom? The good old Dominican Susu. Bro, that land on the Kambu River is the owner willing to finance. Okay, let me reach out to me. 347-740-6350, and let me know what kind of financing you're looking to do, and then at that point I will reach out to my partner and see if we can make it happen. Yeah. How can we contact you? Joseph, I just left my number, 347-740-6350. Magulian, what's up, Jay? Hope all is well. What's your opinion on Munoz and Puerto Plata, like 5 or 10 minutes away from Pueblo, Pueblito Beach? Munoz is nice, man. I'm not even gonna hold you. Prices are kind of expensive in Munoz. When I first started, because I was selling property in there, I was linked with another realtor in there, but he was shisty, so I stopped working with him. But at that time, I believe prices were like $50 per square, $40 per square meter. I'm sure they have jumped to 100, probably even 80, anywhere from $80 to $90 per square meter. I'm not selling anything out of there, but I know when I was working with one of the realtors whose was at the time prices were $40 per square meter, but I'm at the time they were installing utility poles so that people who were investing there, could had accessibility to electricity, So yeah, I mean, if the prices are still affordable, man, jump on it. I think it's a great location for sure. You got El Pueblito Beach right next door. You got Playa Dorada. It's near the Malecon. It's near Jumbo. I mean, it's a great location. So I can't say. And I see that they're building a whole shitload of apartments right off the main road. I don't know how long it's been since you've been, but those apartments they built fast. They built those pretty fast. And one thing I'm noticing is that when they're doing these new apartments, they're making them relatively small. They're making them small to maximize the space so that they can make more money. You know what I mean? And for those of you guys who are looking, whether you're looking to buy an apartment or looking to do an apartment, make a multi-unit, build a multi-unit building or whatever, I always say don't skimp out on the space, man. Make it spacious enough to where you're gonna get people to buy into it fast, and you want to sell below market value in order to sell fast. That's the idea. What I'm seeing happening is a lot of these contractors and construction companies, they're being greedy. They're being greedy. What's the point of me spending 70, 80,000? Well, that's not even the price right now. I mean, condos are going for 140, 150, 160. Pretty much they're going for the price of building a home. The price you spend to build an apartment, you might as well just go ahead and build, a house if you already have the land. And if you don't, okay, I can understand why. And then some people don't want the headache of, going through the whole process of building a home. I get it. Trust me, I get it. Let me see. My Dominican ex-wife and Dominican ex-girlfriend love to do susu. Susu, bro, is the way. And I'm the model to this shit, guys. I'm the model to it. So back to what I was saying, what I plan on doing, because my susu ends in February, second week of February. And this is how most of, foreigners who live in New York, because I can only speak for New York, you got a lot of West Indians that do susus, that do it. And I was just like, normally, I used to do it before, but I was always someone to join into somebody's susu. And I was like, fuck it, I might as well just do my own. You know what I mean? Find my own people and start my own susu. And, I pay out people on time. They don't got to worry about getting their money. When the money comes, as soon as that money hits my account, I get it Zelle to their account or Cash App, however you want it. You want to pick it up from me, however you want to do it. You ensure to get your money. I don't play around with people's money. I got things that I got to do, and this is the only way I'm really able to make it happen without having to pay the bank interest. You know what I mean? So it's a smart way to go. Only if you can trust somebody that's trustworthy, that's been doing it for a while, and you ain't got no problems. Anybody that's been under me has never had any problems getting their money. I can assure you that. But what I want to do this time around, let me just, before I go any further, let me just read some more of you comments. Douglas Anderson, what's that, a partner drawer? Yeah, pretty much is a partner drawer. Lane is my bro. Yeah, we was talking about you, bro. We was chopping it up. Lane is a solid dude, solid brother. It's just crazy how somebody I work with it knows one of my viewers. It's just like, that's crazy. It's a small world, to say the least. I'm trying to get Lane to visit Puerto Plata. Yeah. Some of us brothers is just not there yet. I think once we show improve, I think that will really drive more brothers to see something other than what they're accustomed to seeing. Douglas Anderson, lots of construction in Munoz. I lived in a residential over there for a year. Government investing tons of money in big hotels going up. They are. Douglas Anderson, Jamaicans call it partner drawer. Yeah, most Jamaicans call it partner. And some call it susu too. Small 68 square meter apartments going up for 99K. No name. What's going on, bro? What's going on? And back to what you were saying, Magulian, about 68 square meter apartments going up for 99K. I think if you're gonna spend that kind of money, you want to. I know for myself, if I'm going to spend 100,000, I want to be able to have a nice size space to move around in my condo, and that's why when I start my projects, my builder and I have already talked about it. I told him, I said, yo, we want to be known for building spacious, and not just spacious, but luxury apartments. Even if we got to sell below market value, we're still going to make a profit regardless. You know what I'm saying? The problem is with a lot of these construction companies is they're greedy. They're greedy. I'm looking to sell fast and get out and then start a whole nother project. You know what I'm saying? That's my motto, so I plan on selling, my luxury apartments, the 3 bedrooms, I still haven't done the math yet. I'm working on all of that stuff now, but I guarantee you it's going to be below market value, only so that I can sell fast. That's the idea. I don't want apartments sitting around. You know what I mean? But back to what I was saying about the susu or partner drawer, for whatever you guys, want to call it. Once mine's in, which is the second week of February, I didn't already talk to, some family members of mine. And right now I have about 21 people in my susu. And out of the 21, I took 2 drawers. Now each payout is $4,200. I got the first 2 hands, and that's how I managed to do the road and my property, do some miscellaneous things that I needed to do with the house. So the first week I got 40, every 2 weeks I'm paying out of hand. So the first week I got, $4,200, and then the following payout I got another $4,200. So that came out to $8,400. That was enough to do a lot with, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm in another one with my mom's friend, hers run for 2 years. So in all, guys, I'm gonna keep it real with you. In all, I'm paying out for $400 I'm kicking out $1,600 a month in susu. My mother's friends runs for 2 years, so I'm gonna be paying $400 every 2 weeks for 2 years, and that's fine. I mean, when you look, y'all probably saying, "Oh, that's a lot of money," but when you look at it, a lot of us are paying out car notes more than car notes for that kind of money. You know what I'm saying? And on top of interest, you know what I'm saying? So just think of it like that. If you can afford to pay out because the average car note, depending on what kind of car you financing, we're talking about almost $600 a month. You know what I'm saying? And that's not including the insurance. Hold on, guys.
What the hell?
What's up?
What the hell?
What happened? You was looking for me? You was looking for me? I said you got my number.
No!
Why you ain't call me?
I don't think so.
This Say hi to my people.
Hi.
This is Boo Boo Lot right here. One of my Haitianas. You got
What y'all doing?
I'm good. You know, just schooling my people on the channel. We talking about Susu.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talk. Tell them about Susu. How many Susus you in?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, 2.
She's in 2 Susus, guys.
Yeah.
How much you pay out? How much you pay out every 2 weeks?
I pay good.
You pay what, like 400?
No, I pay like 500.
500 every 2 weeks. You paying out 500. So what's the payout for yours?
Mine is like a 12 for the year.
12,000. See, look at that. And I'm telling them because a lot of people don't know about Susu.
Really?
And for the one I said, most Haitians. People from Jamaica.
Yeah, Colombia.
That's the way.
Yeah, that's where they build our houses.
There you go.
Our house.
That's how. This is the way to go, guys.
What?
You know, yeah, this is the way to go. Most Caribbean people know about Susu and Partner. You know what I mean? And I was telling them I've been doing mine for long time, you know, and this is how I'm able to build and continue on phase by phase and phase by phase. But yeah, it's a lot of sacrificing. I tell guys it's a lot of sacrificing. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, you can sit back and say, you know what? I did that shit.
Yeah.
I did it. I managed to do all of what I needed to do. You know what I mean? And I tell people it's the best way to go only because it's interest free. You're not paying interest. You're not paying interest. Just look at it as a savings. You know, look at it as a savings. You know, some people are indisciplined when it comes to saving their money, and this is why a lot of people get into Susus because they're like, yo, and look at it as a bill. It's a bill. You know, if you can afford to pay a car loan every month, you know, car insurance, you know.
A lot of people save money. I cannot save money like
you
that.
can't save money. You have to do the Susu, right? Yeah. Some people are, just they're not as disciplined. And don't get me wrong, I was one of those that wasn't disciplined, but I think as we get older, you know, we become more disciplined with our finances and et cetera, et cetera. So but yeah, it's the best way to go, you know. Small and quick loans, exactly, because I try not to let my Susu run no longer than like 7-8 months. Yeah, 8 months, you know. But like I was telling my viewers, mine's end. This one that I just did, I got 21 people in. I managed to get 21. So my payout is 4,200 every 2 weeks. So I took 2 hands. So that was 8,400 for me. Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I done got my money. You know, I said it has to benefit me. It has to benefit me, you know, because I want to be the first to get my hand. Some people don't like taking the first hand. Some people don't like taking the first hand only because they got to pay it out towards the end. They got to pay it all the way out towards the end. But I don't mind. I take my money and I do what I got to do with it. Money spent. You know what I mean? Money well spent, I should say. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. But I was telling my viewers, I found some land. I didn't get a chance to tell them exactly, but I found some land that I want to buy. And they want over 100,000 for it. But we're talking about almost 10,000 square meters. This is a lot of land. So I said, you know what? If I can find, I planned on doing two hands. If I can find, because that's 8 more people that's disciplined that can pay out $800 every 2 weeks and is willing to invest in this property that I want to buy, right? That $8,000 that I'm paying out every 2 weeks will go to the owner. You make an agreement and tell them, look, we give you 10 months to pay out. You give you 10 months to pay out, right? Instead of me paying them, I'm paying the owner every 2 weeks. And at the end of the term, the land is ours and we divide it up. You see what I'm saying? Because when I did the math now, I said, okay, you know what? I'm paying out $4,200 every 2 weeks. If you times that times 21 people, that comes out to be $88,200. In 7 months, I done paid out $88,000, almost 100. It's nearly almost 100 grand. But now I'm trying to minimize it to 10 people because I don't want no more than 10 people to invest. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I got to pay out a little bit more, but the less people, the better, because, you know, if you got 7,000 square meters, you can divide that amongst 10 people, and then 10 people can get a decent amount of land. You understand? So I'm working on it. I'm working on it. There's a method to my madness, guys, but I'm always trying to figure out ways to make it happen, you know? And Susu is the best way.
Yeah.
It's the best way. How long you here for?
Midnight.
Me too. Me
You
too.
going downstairs?
I'm going downstairs at 3:30.
Oh,
Yeah.
with the resume, I was looking for you, know.
What, you want me to do your resume?
Oh, shoot. What the hell?
That's another thing, guys. I do resumes too.
What's
Just so you
this?
look, I'm a hustler. Like I don't do it. I does it. You know.
Yeah.
You looking to get your resume done?
Yeah.
All right. Send me your resume and I'll revise it.
Give me your phone number.
Let me see. Hold on, guys. How you don't have my
I don't
number?
know why. I was looking at it.
Hold on. What you got me stored as?
I don't know.
7-4. You got me in
You
your
got
phone.
that?
Look at yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go wrong way. Okay.
All right.
All right. I
All
text
right.
you my.
Yeah, just text me your resume. Text me. You need a cover letter too?
No, I think I have.
You got a
I'm
cover
gonna
letter?
send cover, yeah.
All right. All
Text
right.
it to you. Or...
Yeah, text it to me.
Okay.
Or send me just text me and I'll send you my email address and then you email it to me.
Okay.
All right? All
Thank
right. Yeah. Yeah, guys. But yeah, this is the way to go. Susu, a lot of people talk down upon Susu. It has worked for me. Y'all see the proof is in the pudding. Future World Films, straight cash, no bank involved. Exactly. You don't. This is interest-free money where you don't got to worry about paying interest on it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's sacrificing, but at the end of the day, when you see your reality come to life, that will help you to continue going on. I got one lady that's doing 6 hands that I used to work with, and she's building her house back in Tobago. Most Caribbean people know what time it is. A lot of us Americans don't really know, and the Americans that do know is because they more than likely they're working with people from the Caribbean, and the people from the Caribbean put them on. But yeah, guys, that's the move, and that is the way to go for anybody that's looking, to buy land, build a house. I already knew once I ran out of that 25,000, I'm like, all right, it's time for me to start my susu or partner, whatever it is y'all want to call it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure. But once it's all said and done, I start, like I said, my susu ends in February. And I'm most people that are in my susu, they don't want me to stop. Once it ends, they want me to start right back up. You know what I mean? Because I got a lot of people that's got things that they've got, they want to do. Whether it is you want to buy a car, pay off, your some bills, pay off some debt, but it's the way to go, guys. And I just wanted to share that bit of information with you guys. For those of y'all who are trying to figure out, like, damn, I ain't got this $20,000 to buy this land, or 15 grand to buy this land. And, listen, if you are one of those people that are disciplined, you can make it happen. You can definitely make it happen. You see, she co-signed what I said, she's got 2 going on herself. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the year, she's looking at 12 grand in her pocket. You know what I'm saying? So it's a great way to go. You just got to find somebody that's been doing it for a while, that has a good reputation of doing it. And every year mine's grows. Pretty much every year I got more people coming in. The one prior to this one that I did, I had so many people, I had to break it up. And I did Susu A and Susu B. That way I can keep it, because I personally, I don't like mines to run over no more than 10 months. I try to do 2 within a 12-month period. You know what I'm saying? That way, because if you can manage to do 2 of them in a 12-month period, the more money you're looking at. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's the way I do it. It's the way I do it. So, if you guys are, looking, anybody that's looking to invest, and you want to come into mine, is definitely a guarantee. Definitely a guarantee, And you guys will see once it's all said and done, you'll see the house and you'll be like, because most people ask me, damn, how do you manage, being a single brother and living in New York, how you managing? And this is how I get by. Yeah, I'm kicking out $1,600 a month, but you got to do what you got to do if you're trying to make it happen for yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's no telling what tomorrow is going to bring. You know what I mean? God forbid something happens in the States, I got a place that I can flee to with no worries, no rent, you know what I mean? No mortgage. I ain't got to worry about the government taking away my home because I defaulted on my taxes. You know what I'm saying? God forbid I lose my job. I can say, you know what? I go right on unemployment, collect my unemployment every 2 weeks or every week, however they pay out, and I go to my house in Dominican Republic and and chill and relax. You know what I mean? And that's what I tell people. God forbid I was to lose my job tomorrow. At least I got a place that I can go to without having to worry about, damn, how am I gonna pay this rent? You know what I'm saying? Definitely need someone that you can trust 99%. Holders have been known to mess up the money or run off with it. It's true. It's true, Douglas Anderson. It is true. And this is why, with mine, I I make sure that my people sign contracts. You know what I mean? I take their license copies, because this is a business. This is a business. So you want to ensure that, God forbid something happens, you could take that person to small claims court and recoup that money. You know what I mean? But the people that I have in mind is family members and people that I worked with. I got to see you every day. So I know you're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? You have to make sure that it's somebody that, you can really trust, in order to do it. You know what I'm saying? For sure. For sure. I heard of that at Douglas Anderson. Yeah, yeah, I heard. Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and bullshit y'all and say that people haven't run off, but you got to make sure. It goes back to what I said. You got to make sure you trust that person enough to know that they ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? For sure. And like I said, that's why me personally, I'd rather be the bank holder. Because I know ain't nobody going no. I'm not going nowhere, and I ain't got to worry about somebody taking my money and running somewhere with it. You know what I mean? And then my mother's friend that has hers going on, her payout is $12,000 per hand. I took two. I mean, and like I said, granted, it's running for 2 years, but the only reason why I did it is because I was one of the first to get the money. So with her, I got 22,000. You know what I'm saying? And that's how, I was able to buy the land that I bought in Sabana Caroso. I was able to, pay my lawyer fees that I needed to pay him. Like I did a lot with that money. And once that money ran out, I said, okay. I waited until I came back from my vacation, being away for a month to start up mine. You know what I mean? I didn't want to do it while I was away because my people was like, why are you taking off a month? They didn't need to know I'm going away for a month. So I'm going to wait till I come back, start working again. And then that's when I started mine. So then I got my 8,400 and I went ahead and did, like I said, what I needed to do with it. But it's a great way to save, and for people who are looking and ain't got the money, that might be an option for you guys, who can get a loan from the bank. Getting in the susu, there's your loan. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and most people, like, when I'm gonna be honest with you, if you're thinking about starting your own susu, just keep this in mind. The people that that are just coming in, because I already have my solid ones that are faithful, that pay me on time. I ain't got no problem. Anybody that's coming in new, you get the last hand. You get the last hand. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this is how I do. Anybody that's new coming into my susu or partner, they go all the way to the end. You don't get your money till it's damn near over, to ensure that, you know what I'm saying, I don't got any problems. And then also, anybody that drops out, it's always good to have everything, in contract so that there's no discrepancies if in case something happens. Because with me, if anybody drops out of mine, you lose your money. You lose your money because I'm not going to have to, now I got to worry about finding somebody else to pick up the hand that you said you couldn't pick up no more. You know, it's a responsibility and it's an obligation. And when people know that, they're not going to drop out. They're not going to drop out because they don't want to lose all that money that they don't already put in. You see what I'm saying? So you have to, you know, make sure that the terms of the contract is agreeable to everybody that's joining in your susu, you know. But you know, you guys looking to do it, start with your family and friends. Start off with a small one. Like I said, my first one, I started off small. I started off, I think, with like 10 to 15 people, and over the 3 years, it has grown, you know. And some people, when I start a new one, some people drop out. Then I end up picking up new people, you know. So, you know, once you have that reputation, and your reputation will definitely spread, people will be more apt to joining into your susu, you know. Some of my family members were involved in partner draw 30 years ago. Not sure about now. Douglas Anderson, if you don't mind me asking where you from, because you sound like your family's from the Caribbean, you know? And you know, most Caribbean people, this is what they do, man. This is what they do. You ask yourself, damn, how did they manage to buy that big ass house? How did they manage to do this? How they got this? How they got that? That is the Caribbean way. It's the Caribbean way. You know, it's the Caribbean way. I would say about 90% of, you know, West Indians and people from the Caribbean, they do it. Yachty living in DR. Exactly. You know, yeah, man, it's the best way to go. You know, and like I said, even though I'm kicking out $1,600 a month, you know, I've been doing this shit for so long. It's like a bill to me now. You know, I'm accustomed to just kicking it out, You know, kicking it out, and also this is how I managed to go away for a month. If you want to be technical, you know, yeah, I managed to go away, pay my bills here in New York, and go away for a month and come back and be okay. You know, along with doing what I needed to do in Dominican Republic. You know, for those of you guys who really want to know, yeah. That's how I managed to go away for a month. Pay my car note, pay my car insurance, pay all of my bills, and come back at ease. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But if there's a will, there is a way. You just got to figure out what works for you. You know what I mean? And it has worked for me thus far. You guys see, the proof is in the pudding. I ain't got to lie to you, you know? I'm just giving you guys some tidbits so that, you know, if you look into, you know, you trying to figure this shit out, take it from J-Day. You know, this is how I got this far and continuing to, you know, do what I need to do without having to pay interest on the money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. Because if you take out a bank loan, you know, let's just say, and I took out a loan. You take out a bank loan. Let's just say you take out a $15,000 loan. How much in interest you gonna think you're gonna pay on that? You know, before it's all said and done. You know, you're looking at damn near maybe like 22,000 after borrowing 15. You paying about almost $5,000, $6,000 in interest after the terms of the loan is done. You know, so is it really worth it? You know, why not do it with friends and family, especially if you got a big family? And most Caribbean people, that's what they do. They do it amongst, you know, each other, their family members and their friends, you know? Yeah. I got one nurse that's doing it here. And she's funny. I heard it through the grapevine that she was doing it and her susu, but she's a nurse and she only takes doctors and physicians assistants and people of her peers. That's the only people she taking hers, and her payout is like $30,000 a payout, man. Yeah, she's got a lot of, you know, professionals in hers that, you know, that got things to do. How you think most people are able to build their homes in different countries and where they from and have these vacation homes in their countries and stuff? Majority of foreigners do this. Trust me. It is the Caribbean way. Don't forget forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, so you know, I got, let me see, just got in the live. I have a question. When is your next one? My next live is going to be actually next Saturday. I had a young brother, and I told him, I had a conversation with him yesterday. He sent me a message on WhatsApp. He said, Jay, I've been following you for about 2 years now. And, it was just, you know, I get a lot of negative comments and I get a lot of positive, and the positive is what keeps me going. But what really intrigued me about this brother is the fact that he's 25 years old, and it's just his mental capacity is of somebody in their 50s, man. And I had to give him his flowers and commend him, because I said, man, I wasn't there at your age, man, to see. And that's what I try to target. I try to target the younger generation. And I explained to him, we have to break that cycle when it comes to empowering our children, teaching them, the way to go so that they can become successful and not have to go through the kind of struggles that we went through. You know what I mean? Setting up our kids and our family, our young family members up for success. And to hear his story, to see what he's doing in Dominican Republic, I said, bro, I'm gonna need to have you on my channel next week. So we plan to have we plan to I plan to have him on next Saturday between like 12 and 1. I told him I would confirm with him Thursday of this coming week. So yeah, you guys stay tuned for that interview. This brother's doing it big for 25, man. I was just like, wow. Because I heard, when I started talking to him, I heard the youth in his voice, and I said, how old are you? And he's like, I'm 25. I said, you 20 what? The man's got a car dealership in Atlanta. He's building some investment properties in Santiago. He reached out to me because he was interested. A lot of you guys are interested in that property in Congrejo, Matillano. And it's a great investment, Yeah, he's interested in that only because, you've got the river and the ocean pretty much, in your back door. You know what I mean? Yeah. Respect, JD. I watch all your videos, good information and content. You get around, hang out with the locals. Yeah, I do. I do. I do. And we're going to talk about that, but let me answer 89 watts. Next susu is what I meant. Okay, my next susu is going to be maybe the beginning of March of 2026. And I'm trying to do just 10 people because, 10 people at $800 every 2 weeks. And if you can't afford the $800 every 2 weeks, get somebody to go in with you. You pay 4 and your other friend pays 4, whoever you decide, because that payout, I want it to be $8,000 per hand, per payout. If we're paying $800 every 2 weeks per person, that's $8,000 per hand, okay? So, and it's only gonna run maybe about 10 months, 10 months, yeah. So, but if anybody is interested, just reach out to me. But I will tell you this, anybody that's gonna come in, it's gotta be a security blanket for me. So you gotta understand that if you coming in, you're going towards the end of the hand. You know what I mean? I don't, especially for somebody I don't really know like that, But, of course, contracts and all of that will be signed. I take copies of your ID if in case I got to sue your ass and I know where to find you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But, yeah, what was he talking about? Douglas Anderson said, you get around hanging out with the locals. I do. And I enjoy hanging out with the locals. And it's part of Dominican culture, man. And I tell you guys that all the time. I mean, yeah, it's hard trying to find somebody that you can trust, but once you find a local that you can trust, that's how you get in, And for those of you who have my number, who are on WhatsApp, y'all see my WhatsApp stories. I be in those Dominican streets. I be in the barrios, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I have I have such a great time hanging in the barrios, just watching the culture and how they interact with each other, the music. It'd be a whole vibe. And not just that, you spend less money hanging out in the barrios. For one, I sweat a lot. I don't like being in a fucking club with a whole bunch of people on top of each other where you can't breathe. And it's just, I don't like it. I don't like crowded spaces. So for me, hanging out in the barrios on the weekend. They playing, y'all know how, for those of you guys who've been traveling Dominican Republic for a long time, y'all know how the locals give it up. They like to play their music in the street, on their block. You got the dominoes going, the speakers going, the Molly Cone on the weekends be lit. For some reason, I don't know why on a Sunday night, Dominicans like to hang out, but it seemed like Sunday nights be more popping than Saturday nights. Yeah. Can you add me to the WhatsApp, please? I prefer the everyday people in the barrios. Okay, it always feels like community family event. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, the barrios. I was, like I said, for those of you guys who follow me, I post. The reason why I don't post a lot of the barrio content on my YouTube channel is because a copyright of the music. You know what I'm saying? In which TikTok, I can post a video with the music in the background and won't get, it won't be a copyright issue. So if those of you guys who want to follow me on TikTok, Jday, Gayday, The Traveler, and then you'll see some of the content that I post on TikTok that I don't post on my YouTube channel. Yeah. And if you want to be added to the group, I know those of you guys that want to be added, to the Black Expat group, which, as I said before, we got over 250 expats in that group. Yeah, just reach out to me, and I can have you added. Daryl is one of the moderators of that group, so all I got to do is reach out to my boy Daryl, and we can get you guys added into the group if that's what you want. It's not a problem. But yeah, I've been traveling the Dominican Republic since 2016. So I got some years in the game, it'd be almost 10 years, you know what I mean? And throughout my travels, I've always, I stay away from the tourist spots, most tourist spots, you're going to pay tourist prices. Clubs, you're going to pay, and for one, I'm a vlogger, so, I can't hear what's going on. I can't really interact in the clubs opposed to interacting with the people in the barrios. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, I'll search for you on TikTok for sure. Yeah. Check out my TikTok, guys. And for those of you guys that's watching me, be sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe. It's 14 of you guys in here. It costs y'all nothing to hit that like button. Some of you just don't want to do it. I don't know why, but it don't cost you anything. I appreciate you. Yeah. But yeah, man, take one if you can. Next time you travel in the Dominican Republic, try linking with one of the locals and asking them to give you the barrio experience, take you out to the barrios so that you can experience the barrio life. And trust me, guys, nothing's gonna happen to you. You go there, and you just got to go with somebody you know. You know what I'm saying? That's all. You go with somebody you know. And just check the vibe out, have a good time, and enjoy yourself. Most of the locals, man, they came up to me. They already knew I was a foreigner. They're like, yo, okay, where you from? New York, and they love New York, man. Most Dominicans, when I tell them I'm from New York, the first thing they ask me is, oh, tu sabes Washington Heights? Washington Heights? They always ask me, do I know Washington Heights? And only because Washington Heights is, predominantly a Dominican neighborhood in New York. You know what I mean? It's a lot of Dominicans. I say about 75 to 80% Dominicans live in Washington Heights. Nothing better than the barrio experience. Tell them again, Future World Films. Tell them again, it's cheap. You get cheap beer because everything is cheap in the barrios and it don't cost you much. And not just that, the barrios got clubs. They got their own clubs in the barrios, their own little hood spots. And I'm not gonna say I'm from the hood, but I grew up in the hood. I grew up around, so I got that hood shit in me. I know how to turn it off and turn it off, turn it on and turn it off when I need to. You know what I'm saying? So I love the barrio experience. I do, and everybody's cool. Everybody you ain't got to worry about any from my experience of my years of experience of hanging out in the barrios, I never encountered, gunshots and stabbings and all that shit that happens here in the States. You know what I'm saying? I've never encountered any of that in the barrios. You know what I mean? One thing I will say, I just be like, yo, how the hell, don't why the hell, the neighbors that live in the barrios, they allow that shit to go on until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. They playing loud music, and everybody's in the street, and you got, I guess how it worked, how like my last experience was just recently when I went to one of the barrios in Puerto Plata, because you got a few barrios. There's a few barrios in Puerto Plata where you would never think this is in Puerto Plata, like up in the cut, and they playing loud music till like 4 o'clock in the morning. And then at some point the police do come and shut you down. And then what happens is once they shut you down there, everybody moves to a whole nother spot. You know what I'm saying? And then, they party there until the police come there and shut that shit down. And then once that's shut down, everybody just goes to like the gas station and just pull up at the gas station and play their music, and that's pretty much how the vibe is in Puerto Plata. Yeah. I'm on Dykeman in the Heights right now. This shit is straight Dominican. Exactly. And you know what? Yo, Future World Films. You know what I want to do, bro? I work a lot, but I said I want to take one day out of my time, and you reach out to me, bro. I don't know if you have my number or not, but connect with me on WhatsApp, bro. I want to go down there and do like a vlog in Washington Heights and connect with some of the Dominicans out there, and just do some content in Washington Heights. That way some of the viewers can see, what the life is like in Washington Heights opposed to what they see, you know what I'm saying, in Dominican Republic. And not just that, getting some of the Dominicans perspective of, the life in the Heights, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and the difference between, living in Washington Heights and traveling to Dominican Republic, you know what I mean? Yeah, the difference between Dominican Americans opposed to, Dominicans that were born and raised in Dominican Republic, So this is something that has always been on my things to do list. It's just that right now my time just hasn't allowed me to do it. But having somebody that's, that has boots on the ground, I think it would make it more easier for me to go ahead and do it, Yeah, and from what I'm also hearing, the food out there, I love Dominican food. Y'all already know that. It's like one of my favorite culture of foods, Dominican and Haitian, believe it or not. Haitian food is crazy because if for those of you guys who didn't catch the video that I made with the Haitian girl, right? Because for some reason, a lot of Dominicans, I'm going to be real with you, a lot of Dominicans that live in Dominican Republic have never had Haitian food and don't really like eating behind Haitians for whatever reason. But my builder, aka partner, he knew that I had a Haitian shorty at my house cooking, right? So I invited him over. I said, yo, bro, you once he seen what she was doing in my kitchen, he was, more likely to come and try the food, right? So she had made Didi John John, which is black rice, and tasso, fried goat with piglies, She made all of that, right? And I said to him, you never had Haitian food before? He's like, nah. Yo, when he tried her food, he cleaned the plate and told his wife, like, Haitian food is muy bueno. I said, I told you. I told you. Yeah, so for those of you Dominicans who've never had Haitian food, don't knock it till you try it. Americans too, don't knock it till you try it. Haitian food is more on the spicy side, where y'all already know Dominicans don't really like cooking with a lot of spice. So if you don't mind the heat, I say go for it, man. Go for it, Yeah. Keep doing your thing, bro. Mr. Dinetto, I appreciate you. Appreciate all the love and support, guys. It's 15 of you guys in here. Be sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe. Billy Marte, what's up, Jay? What happened to Chamo? Didn't see him on your latest videos. Oh, y'all want to know what happened to Chamo? Chamo's no longer involved in anything that I'm doing. And I got a story to tell, but we're going to talk about that another time. Haitian Gunman, let him know, Jay. Bro, you already know I know what's up. You already know I know what's up. Like I said, when it comes to Haitian food or Dominican food, I like them both, and it's not too like it's most of. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like it's almost similar shit. Like the Haitians make bouillon. Dominicans make what you call it sancocho. Same shit, different culture, bro. Same shit, different culture. Same thing with the plant. Now, I will say the Haitians got the black rice over the Dominicans. Not to say the Dominican, I love Dominican rice too, but when we got to be specific. When we're talking about Didi John John, black rice, ain't nobody fucking with the Haitian rice, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I gotta say it. You know, they just not messing with the Haitian rice. And for those of y'all, I love Dominican rice, don't get me wrong. But when it comes to that Didi John John, ain't no culture fucking with that. I'm sorry. Hands down. Haitians got that. They got that. And that's my opinion. And I said what I said, and I'm standing on that. All right? Just so y'all know. You know, even the fried goat, like, Haitians, they got some good dishes, man. My favorite Haitian dish is legume, Didi John John, tasso. The fried turkey is popping. Even their the griot with the piglies, like those of you guys who have been. And I told a few of the brothers, I said, yeah, you mean, and there's some brothers that have traveled to DR, that's been going there back and forth. Some that actually live there that has never had Haitian food, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me! You got the best of both worlds. Are you kidding me? Like when I'm there living full time, when I want Haitian food, I know that's the luxury that I have. I can have a Haitian chick come in and cook. I can have a Dominican chick come in and cook. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because I mean, after a while, you know. Don't get me wrong. I love like for instance, one of my coworkers like, "What you eating for lunch today? Dominican food?" I said I was there for a month. I'm tapped out. I'm tapped out. I'm not eating no Dominican food for a while. Not to say that Dominican food here ain't good, but you know, how much habichuelas and arroz guandule you gonna eat? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's why I said for me, I'm gonna have Haitian one day, Dominican one, Haitian one, Dominican one, you know? And this is one of the reasons why I really want to go. I would love to go to Haiti because I already know the food, and I've never had I've had Haitian food, but I'm talking about having it directly from Haiti, the authentic. Like there's this restaurant, and we got a lot of Haitian restaurants here in New York. I'm not even gonna hold you, but when I first got introduced to Haitian food, I was talking about 2021. You know what I'm saying? I was 21 years old when I first had Haitian food working in healthcare. You know what I'm saying? And there's a spot in Queens. They there till this day. It's called damn, what's the name of that restaurant? It's called Good Taste. It's located in Queens Village, off of I know it's in Queens. It's called Good Taste, but they still open. But when I first started going in back in 2021, and then I went, we're talking about a few years back, maybe like 2 years ago, and I hadn't been there since 2021. When I first went there, the food tastes like they took somebody's grandmother straight from Haiti and brought them there and had her cooking in that restaurant. Now, 20 years later, you go there now, that shit don't even taste the same. Not to say that it's not good, but I was just like, nah, that shit ain't hitting like it was back in 2021. You know what I'm saying? So I already know, if I go to Haiti, man, I already know the food is fire, Jay Mullins, I've been watching and learning from your journey from time. Don't stop, bro. I'm in the process of getting up shop in Puerto Plata. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. And shout out to all my Haitians, man. Even though there's a lot going on in DR, keep your head up, those who are living in DR. You know what I mean? I got a few Haitian people that I do rock with in Dominican Republic, and the struggle is real. I got respect for both sides. You know what I'm saying? It's just an unfortunate situation because you got some, genuine good Haitian people that are currently living in Dominican Republic that's just looking for a better life for themselves. You know what I'm saying? And in order for you to to feel what the next man is feeling or woman is feeling. You got to put yourself in their shoes, and I think that's what will humble you, But having to live day by day on edge, not knowing whether or not you're going to be deported, especially if you're a person that's been living in Dominican Republic, that's from Haiti, that's been there since you was a child. You know what I'm saying? It's not documented. Like, I can only imagine. You know what I'm saying? I reached out to one of my this Haitian brother that I met that was working on the beach, and he told me he was from Cap Haitian, and he said, I'm ready to go back. I'm leaving back. I'm going back to Haiti. I just can't live like this no more. Like, I don't have the quality of life that I would like. It's only work and home, because if I get caught out in the streets, it's no telling what they'll do to me. You know what I mean? So, I understand the struggle, and, my heart goes out to those who are going through the struggle, man. It's an unfortunate situation. I just hope that at some point, Haiti gets it together so that, their people can rise up and, take back their country and make it the Haiti that it once was. You know what I mean? Across from the Charlie drink, do you know the corner? The Charlie, are you talking about the Charlie bar? There used to be a spot and it was called the Charlie bar. If you're talking about the Charlie bar, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. And that's another thing, guys. For those of you guys that just trying to figure out what kind of business you looking to do, man, I tell you this, the key is making a name for yourself, with the Dominicans, the locals, because if the locals is not, I say it time and time again, guys, if the locals is not patronizing your place of business, it is not going to sustain itself. It's not enough. I mean, we don't get me wrong. We got a lot of expats that do live in Dominican Republic and Puerto Plata, but it's not enough of us to sustain your place of business, So make sure, you, whatever spot you plan on doing, whatever place of business you plan on establishing in Dominican Republic, just make sure that, you are not just patronizing to the expats, but the locals as well, okay? Because that's the only way your business is going to thrive. Trust me. And you can't go wrong with loud music and frosty beers. I love a nice cold beer. I'm talking about to the point where you can see the frost on that bottle. That's how Dominicans like their beer. Cheap eats, good beer, and nowadays, I was having a conversation with Daryl about Dominican culture. Don't get me wrong, the bachata and salsa, it will never die, but the younger generation is taking over the Dominican culture. So now it's like we kind of gotta, when we're looking to open up establishments, and not just that. I told Daryl, I said, a lot of us, brothers like younger women, So in order to attract that younger crowd, you got to be able to play the dembo music. That's going to draw in the younger crowd. You know what I mean? And it will draw in more foreigners because they see younger women coming there to patronize. You know what I mean? So if you are looking to tap into a business, and you can't go wrong with, like I said, cheap eats and, the music that's happening now, dembo. A lot of us don't like it. I don't have a problem with it. All it is Spanish rap to me. You know what I mean? And I like hip hop. I like rap. So, I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? And I got a little dance flow. I mean, I may be a little big, but I know how to move. You know what I mean? My two-step is crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Not trying to plug on your channel, but we're known for great soup, patamongo. Come through on the next visit. Jay Mullins. Okay, so across from the Charlie's Rink, the corner. Yes, sir. Sundays are live. All right, bro. Well, shout out the name of your, bro. I don't have a problem with you shouting out your place of business, man. I'm all about supporting, brothers and sisters that's trying to make it happen in Dominican Republic. So type in the name of your spot, and I'll say it. That way, those who are in Puerto Plata, y'all can check out his spot. And tell me the name of it again. You said, I know where the Charlie Bar used to be, but just tell me the name of your place of business, and next time I'm in DR, I'll be sure to come, and patronize your spot. All right, it's called El Rinconcito del Ari. Okay, I'm gonna spell it, guys. So if you guys are in Dominican Republic, he says that in Puerto Plata, preferably, they're known for their grapes, their great soup, and pati mango. Mango. Bro, what is pati mango? Never heard of it. So if you guys like soup, bouillon for the Haitians, check his spot out. El Rinconcito de Areli. Areli, is that the pronunciation? I'm gonna spell it out for those of you guys who can't understand. It's ELRINCONCITO DEARELI. And it's located near the Charlie Bar. Charlie Bar is no longer there, but I know where the Charlie Bar used to be. Like I said, guys, I get around. I get around in them DR streets. I be in the streets. Your boy be in them streets. And I got the the footage to the Charlie Bar still there? Because when I had pulled up, it was closed. It was closed. So maybe they open up later on in the evening or whatever. Yeah. And the Charlie Bar is a nice little spot. You're nice. You get, one thing I could say about Puerto Plata, if you're looking for the Dominican experience and Dominican vibe, check it out, and that's what I tell most people that travel. A lot of my friends, when they say, or co-workers for that matter, they say, oh, I'm going to Dominican Republic. The first thing I say is, where, Punta Cana? How did you know? I said, because that's where most tourists go. They don't know nothing else but Punta Cana. You know what I mean? And I think that needs to change. We need to start promoting, Puerto Plata more. And I tell, people that when they tell me they're going to Punta Cana, and I tell them like, yeah, Punta Cana is nice and is geared to, servicing foreigners, foreigners, gringos, only because it's a shitload of resorts. And I will tell you this, if you're looking to do a resort, that's what I ask people. Well, what are you going to Punta Cana for? I said, if you're going to go to Punta Cana for, a good service, because I will say you do get a better service in Punta Cana, in terms of the resorts. You got better resorts over on that side. But if you're looking to experience Dominican culture and get a Dominican vibe, hands down, Puerto Plata is where it's at. You know what I'm saying? We got the best beaches on the North Coast, nice rivers, it's just, you got Sosua, you got Cabarete. I'm not a Sosua dude. Y'all already know how I feel about that. I go during the week where it's not so many. You know what I'm saying? Puerto Plata is always gonna be my number one. It's laid back. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to worry about getting haggled everywhere you go. Sosua is like, you can't even go to the beach and relax without somebody trying to haggle you. That's just me. You know what I mean? Everybody's experience is different. You have no idea how much you're inspiring brothers from the States. Amazing work. I appreciate you, Caveman. I appreciate you, bro. And this is why I do this, man. I do this to inspire brothers, and I say it time and time again. I'm 45 years old. My first trip out of the country, I was 35. I was 35 years old. And when I it's not that I say it time and time again, when you hanging out with brothers that all they want to do is the same regular shit, that don't see nothing past what they're doing, that will keep you stagnant. It will definitely keep you stagnant. When I took my first trip, I went on a cruise, and that changed my life. That changed my life at 35 years old. That was my first time out of the country taking a cruise, and we went to Mexico, Jamaica, and I believe it was Honduras, and from that experience alone, after that trip, I went to Trinidad by myself, and then following that, I went to DR, and look where it has led me. It has led me to have a home. This is what I said, if you will never know where life may take you unless you step outside of the box, man. I would never have thought that I would be in the position that I'm in. a house in Dominican Republic, more land, renting an apartment, a YouTube channel. Like, you never know where life may take you unless you step outside the box and change your surroundings. You know, your surroundings is what'll keep you, keep you stagnant. You know what I'm saying? For sure. You know, and it's not like I didn't have the money to travel and do all that shit when I was younger. It's just that the people that I was hanging around with wasn't on that kind of time. You know what I'm saying? And that's my biggest regret. I wish I would have started this traveling shit when I was in my 20s. You know, who knows where I would be, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, who knows where I would be, but you know, I'm blessed and I'm happy to say that I'm in a position to where I'm in now, and I'm okay with that. And this is why, you know, I strive to empower the younger generation. You know, yeah. And this is why it's important for me to have that young brother on next Saturday, you know, to tell his story so that he can empower, you know, people in his age group. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what it's all about, empowering the youth, you know, showing them what's out there other than what they're accustomed to, only to broaden their horizons.
Yeah.
You got me?
Yeah, you free.
All right. Yeah.
Taylor,
Yes.
you doing overtime today?
Yes, I'm doing overtime, but I'm going down to my unit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's over. This is actually my overtime.
This is your overtime?
This is my overtime. My regular shift starts now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for being here.
No problem. I'll see you tomorrow, though. You here tomorrow?
Yes, I'm here
All right.
tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow bright and early.
Okay.
All right. So with that being said, guys, the clock done started. I got to go to my next shift. I appreciate all y'all, you know, tapping in, all the positive feedback, you know, all those who are interacting. Shout out to Jay Mullins. Shout out to Future World Films, Billy Marte, R.A., Douglas Anderson, 89 Watts. I appreciate all the love and support, guys. Until then, y'all stay tuned for more. Be sure to tune in next Saturday with the young brother. I'm going to do an interview with him, and y'all don't want to miss that, all right? I appreciate the love and support again, guys. Until next time, I'll be talking to y'all soon. Y'all stay safe out there.